So morning we had started with the chapter 4, that is tax rates, which is applicable for different types of assessee on different situations, or else whenever whatever income you have. Agree? We have seen two different types of tax rates, that is normal rates, or else we will call it as gross rate or base rate. For individual, AOP, BOI, artificial juridical person and all, flat slab rates are applicable, whereas for companies, partnership firm and all, flat rate is applicable. Agree? These are called gross rate or base rate. Okay, then there might be some special income which are taxable at special rates. For example, long term capital gain, whether it is on equity shares or unit of business trust or units of equity oriented fund or any other capital gains, also some special rates are applicable. Then coming to short term capital gain. Short term capital gain, if it is on sale of equity shares, unit of business trust, unit of equity oriented funds, then it will be 15% under section 111A. And if it is any other short term capital gain, then normal rate, whatever we had studied before. Agree? So this is what we have already discussed in the morning. Chalo, we'll continue. We have also discussed one small topic called rebate. Rebate is applicable only for resident individual whose total income is up to 5 lakh. Whose total income is up to 5 lakh. Agree? So what is the maximum rebate you will get? 12,500. But if my tax liability is less than 12,500, then only that much. Agree? And rebate should be claimed before health and education cess. So we will do a problem now. First problem. Then you will get some idea about, okay, how do we calculate the income tax. Chalo guys. So come to problem number 1. Only questions will be given in your material. Answer or solution you have to take down in your notebook, guys. So open your notebook, give the heading tax rates, under that first problem, and also mention the page number so that it will be easy for you to refer the study material as well as notes later when you are studying. So whenever you are taking down anything in your notebook, try to give the reference for page number in the study material. Agree guys? Chalo. Mr. X is a resident, has a total income of rupees 4,50,000. Okay. Comprising of his salary income and interest on FD. Fine. So what is the total income of Mr. X? First of all, Mr. X is whom? Individual. Is a resident. Okay. These two things are important, guys. These two things are important. Okay. And his total income is 4,50,000. Now, just by seeing this, what you can recognize here is, sir, rebate is applicable in this case. Agree? Rebate is applicable because Mr. X is an individual and is a resident and his income is up to 5 lakh. So in this case, rebate is applicable. Agree? And its total income includes some salary income and interest on FD, it seems. That will not make any difference. Okay? Chalo. So guys, one thing we will understand in this chapter is, in this chapter, they would have directly given the total income for us. We will just calculate the tax liability. Okay? Now later, after 4th chapter, we will be seeing, okay, how do we get that total income? How to derive that total income? We will be learning from chapter 5th, that is heads of income. Agree? So in this chapter, total income will be ready figure which is available for you in the question. We have to just calculate the tax rates, tax amount, applying tax rates whichever is applicable for the assessee. Clear? Now, so what rates are applicable for this individual? Slab rates. Agree? So up to 2.5 lakh. Sir, age is not given. Whenever age is not given, assume less than 60. I have told 2-3 things, guys. So I will repeat, please be careful. Whenever age of an individual is not given, assume less than 60. Okay. Next, if residential status is not given, always assume resident. Okay. Then what else? I guess one more point I told. Yeah. When I recall it, I will tell you. Yeah. Up to 2.5 lakh, it is basic exemption limit. So tax rate is nil. Agree? So I can tell it as basic exemption limit. So amount will be 0. Agree? Next, more than 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, rate is 5%. But his income is only 4.5 lakhs now. Means 4,50,000, right? We have to stop it there. We should not do till 5 lakh. So 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, what is the rate, guys? 5%. So what the amount will come to? I will calculate like this. 4.5 minus 2.5, that comes to 2 lakhs into 5% working. Be careful with this working because you should know we have to take the difference. Okay, so the amount comes to 10,000. Okay, so here your gross tax liability, we call this 10,000 as gross tax liability. Fine. Then, sir, am I eligible for rebate under section 87A? Yes, you are eligible. How much, sir? 12,500 or your tax liability, whichever is your lower. So how much your tax is, your tax liability? Only 10,000. So what I will do, I can claim only 10,000 rebate. So your final tax payable to the government, is 0. This is very simple problem where rebate is applicable. See guys, you have to be very careful in which case what is applicable, which rate is applicable, when rebate is applicable, because in the question no clue or hint will be given. You have to know that, okay, in this question the assessee is an individual resident, so his income is up to 5 lakh. So you have to know that, okay, I have to apply rebate here. Okay, so that is what I told you when I was starting this chapter in the morning. There are many things to keep in your mind in this chapter, and you should know when which rate has to be applied and when we have to give rebate and all. Everything should be in your mind. What to explain is very basic problem. See, I will tell you. Mr. X is a resident individual whose income is up to 5 lakh, so he is eligible for rebate. So what are the tax rate applicable for individual? Up to 2.5 lakh, it is basic essential limit, so you did not pay any tax, so amount will be 0 or nil. More than 2.5 lakh or 2 lakh 50,000 to 5 lakh, the rate is 5%, but his income is only 4 lakh 50,000. So we will apply, what is the difference between 4 lakh 50 to 2 lakh 50? It is 2 lakh. Apply 2 lakh into 5%, you will be getting 10,000. Rebate under section 87A is actual tax liability or 12,500, whichever is lower. In this case, your tax liability is only 10,000, so you can claim rebate only maximum 10,000. Maximum rebate you can claim is only 10,000. Chalo, we shall move ahead and we will discuss some more things. Yeah. So now, see, I have given one format. You can see here in the same chapter, I have given how do you calculate the tax liability. This is the maximum things which can come in tax computation. Okay. But in every question, all things might not be covered. That is what I told you. This is just a format. This is how you should go in step by step. We cannot skip the steps. Agree? And I am telling you, in every case, each and everything may not come. So what is that? Please be attentive. Please listen carefully. First, you will always calculate. Okay, first in total income, you will see how much is special income, how much is normal income. Okay. So tax on special income at special rates. Okay. So what are those special rates? We have already seen. Here also in the note I have given. You can observe. That are 4 sections which we discussed in the morning. 112A, 10% in excess of 1 lakh. Then long term capital gain, that is any other long term capital gain, 20% on full amount. Casual income, that is section 115 BB, 30% on full amount. Short term capital gains on equity shares or unit of equity oriented fund and unit of business trust, it is 15% on full amount. Agree? These are my special income tax rates. Okay. If you have any of this income only, first point is applicable. Sir, if I don't have that 4 income, then skip this first step. Straight away apply normal rate. Agree? Okay. Tax on balance income. That means if your total income is 10 lakh, out of that 2 lakh is special income. Okay, apply special rate. Balance 8 lakh is my normal income. On that 8 lakh, apply slab rate or flat rate. Whichever is applicable for you, depending upon who you are. Agree? As applicable I have written. Okay. Tax on balance income at slab or flat rate as applicable. Clear guys? Next. So you will get one amount. That amount is actually called gross tax liability. There is a doubt. Sai Sharan, sir, does individual age more than 60 years will be applicable for rebate? Yeah, everyone can claim rebate. There is no condition for that. Okay, but you can observe one thing. If you are a 80 years or more, that is super senior citizen, there is no use of rebate for you because your basic exemption limit itself is 5 lakh. Agree? If you are a senior super citizen, okay, super senior citizen, then for you it is not applicable, means it is of no use, I can tell. For you it is applicable, but it is of no use. Okay, Bala Sridhar, Balance income here means normal income, sir. Yeah. Balance income means normal income. Next, okay, from gross tax liability, rebate you have to claim under section 87A when only two conditions are satisfied. When is that? Resident individual plus total income is up to 5 lakh. Hope you guys know this. Remember everything. Okay, I will be discussing these points in the future classes also, guys. Okay, you people should be able to recall. We have a separate chapter called calculation of total income and tax liability. Even in that chapters, we will be looking all this again. Next, tax liability after rebate. Fine, you will be getting one figure. Next, surcharge. This is some additional tax, guys, which we will be seeing now. Okay, see, this is additional tax, which is we have seen some base rate or gross rates. Agree? That is special rate as well as normal rate. Over and above that, in certain special cases, something called as surcharge is applicable. Not every case, only in specific cases. When your income is crossing some limits, you are having huge income. So that is why government thought, okay, if you are a higher income person, over and above normal income tax, we will also charge something called as surcharge. Surcharge is also under income tax only. It is one of the income tax only, but we don't name it as income tax, we call it as surcharge. Sir, what is surcharge? In simple, if I tell, it is an additional tax over and above income tax. Sir, what is income tax? Whatever we saw in the first table and second table, that base slab rate, flat rate plus special rates, all that we will call it as income tax. Over and above that, if you are having income over and above some limits, that limits has been given in the act, then you have to pay surcharge also. Agree? So it is also covered under income tax only. Surcharge is not something which is not something outside the income tax. Clear? So what is surcharge? When it is applicable, we will see later. But what you have to understand here, sir, surcharge on what figure we should calculate? Is it on income or tax? It is on tax. Please pay attention, everyone. Sir, surcharge on what figure we have to calculate? It is on the tax figure. Which tax figure, sir? It is always on this tax figure, guys. It is always on this tax figure. Wherever I am marking, please be careful. That is on gross tax liability, you have to calculate surcharge. At what rate, sir? We will see that now after this. Agree? So then you will get tax liability after surcharge. Tax liability after surcharge. For this figure, apply 4% health and education cess. What is this? We will see after this, but I am just explaining the format now, guys. Okay, just understand the format. What will come after what? Okay, so the health and education cess you will get, you have to add it for 4% on what figure? The tax figure. On tax figure, that is income tax plus surcharge. Agree? So you will get tax liability. You will get tax liability. So we will stop it here. Later we will discuss the balance thing. We will stop it here. So first I want you to understand how do we calculate tax liability step by step. So apply first your normal tax rate, income tax rates. What we will call it as either special rate or normal rate. If it is a normal rate, it might be flat rate or slab rate. I will repeat. Income tax is of two types. Normal tax rates or special tax rates. Agree? So under normal tax rate, we have two things, that is flat or slab, depending upon the type of assessee. Agree? On that, if you are eligible for a rebate, only resident individual can claim. Then if I am having some income, higher income, like more than 50 lakh, 1 crore like that, then I have to pay something extra, that is called surcharge. It is an additional tax. Sir, surcharge on what figure should I calculate? Is it on income or something else? It is on tax figure. It is on tax figure. Guys, you can observe one thing. Sir, these two figures, on what did I calculate? On income. On my income, I calculated the first two figures. Whereas surcharge is not on your income, it is on your tax liability, guys. Please be very careful with that, because many students will go wrong with that. Surcharge also they will apply on income figure only. Clear? Hope you guys are clear. When surcharge is applicable, what rate we will see now. Then after surcharge, you will be getting one figure, that is tax plus surcharge. On that you have to calculate health and education cess 4%. And health and education cess will always be mandatory, guys. It will always be mandatory for everyone, irrespective of your income. If you are paying any tax, on that tax figure you have to pay 4% health and education cess. Clear? So you will get a final tax liability which you have to pay to the government. Agree? Some more things are there which I will discuss later. So now, before understanding surcharge, I wanted you to understand the format. That is why I explained it. Okay? Bala Sridhar, is minimum alternate tax an example of surcharge? Minimum alternate tax is a completely different concept, madam. There is two concept which is called actually minimum alternate tax, alternate minimum tax, which is applicable for different type of assessee, which we will see in chapter 13 and 14, guys, which is completely different provisions, Agree? Don't worry about that now, because actually whatever we learn there is just opposite to whatever we will learn here. So I don't want to talk anything with respect to that, because you people will start getting confused. So we will see when we come to that particular day, I will explain in detail. Okay, so we are done with tax rates, guys. We are done with tax rates. Now we are going for surcharge. Pranita, we have to calculate this on special income, right? So which one, madam? Surcharge. See, surcharge is on tax figure, not on income figure. Please be careful. Surcharge is on tax figure. The tax figure is both tax on your special income, tax on your normal income. Both you have to add it. Clear? Chalo. Surcharge. Surcharge, additional tax on gross tax amount. We saw what is gross tax liability there. Agree? I will quickly show you. On what figure we have to see gross tax liability? You can observe here, third line, gross tax liability. How did I get that? Tax on special income, if it is there, plus tax on balance income at whatever rate is applicable for you, add up both, that is your gross tax liability. On this figure, you will have to apply surcharge. Sir, why you are not considering rebate? See, when rebate is applicable, obviously surcharge will not come. When surcharge is there, rebate will not come. Why, you will understand now. Okay, both cannot come in the same case. Long-term Pranit Prabharan has a doubt. Long-term capital gain under section 112A is applicable for more than 1 lakh at 10%, provided STT is paid. This is correct. Yeah. Okay. So if you are having any doubt with respect to long-term capital gain on 3 things, that is EFT, we discussed morning. Okay. In that case, if you are having income only more than 1 lakh, you will pay 10% tax. For example, if you assume you have an income of 1,50,000, you will be paying tax on 50,000 at 10%. That is 5,000. Agree? One more example I will take. Assume you are having long-term capital gain of same nature of 80,000. Of 80,000 only. Sir, should I pay tax on that? No. No. Okay. And one important point is, whenever 112A or 111A you are applying, make sure that securities transaction tax is paid. And if question is silent, we assume it to be paid, because whenever you are transacting through a recognized stock exchange, automatically securities transaction tax will be deducted from your transaction. So if question is silent, you always assume STT is paid. Chalo guys. So now we will see something about surcharge. Pay attention. Surcharge is an additional tax payable over and above income tax. Okay. This is not a replacement for income tax, guys. This is over and above income tax. Fine. Surcharge is levied as a percentage of income tax. As a percentage of what? Income tax, not a percentage of income. Please be careful with that. Agree? Whereas income tax is a percentage of income, that is total income. Whereas surcharge is a percentage of income tax. Agree? So there is a difference between income tax and surcharge. Okay. So category of person. First, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Can I call them as slab rate assessee? I told you in the morning, I call them as slab rate assessee. Okay. Income tax nowhere uses the word slab rate assessee, but I am calling them so that you can easily remember. Okay. For whomever slab rate is applicable, we are covering now. Clear? Next, total income. Total income exceeds rupees 50 lakh, but doesn't exceed 1 crore. That means your income is more than 50 lakh, guys. 50 lakh, but up to 1 crore. In that case, what is the surcharge applicable for you? 10%. On your tax liability, we have to apply 10% surcharge. Clear? Next, your total income exceeds 1 crore but does not exceed 2 crore. So, if your income exceeds total income, we are talking about total income exceeds 1 crore but it is up to 2 crore. 2 crore. What is the surcharge rate? 15%. 15%. So, next, third case. Total income exceeds 2 crore but doesn't exceed 5 crore. Okay. In that case, what is the surcharge rate? 25%. Last case. Total income exceeds 5 crore. That is, your surcharge rate will be 37%. That is the last rate. Sir, why is this so? See, simple. You can observe one thing. Only who are covered in this surcharge? Higher income people. If your total income exceeds 50 lakh, then only you are under the bracket of surcharge. If not, you are not under the bracket of surcharge. Hope you guys can understand this. The intention of the government to introduce this surcharge was, okay, if the people have higher income, let them pay tax because they have income anyway. Let them pay tax. Okay, so normal rate is applicable for them, that 5%, 20%, 30%, that normal thing is applicable. Over and above that, this surcharge is applicable. Agree guys? On income tax figure. Neeraj has a doubt. Sir, what's the purpose of imposing surcharge? I just now told, sir. Before I see your doubt, I have answered your doubt. Why 30% odd number? Any reason behind this? No, actually, even I don't understand the logic because they would have kept this 30%, but still they want to collect more. That is why they have increased it to 37, that to odd figure, 30, 35, 40 they would have done. There is no logic for that, sir. There is no logic for that. Neeraj, are you clear with the doubt? Surcharge, why they are leaving it? Only as you are having income more than 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore, whenever you have higher income, government eyes will fall on you. This person is having higher income. Let us do something to collect tax from him. Okay, so that is why they introduced surcharge. That is why they introduced surcharge. Clear? Chalo. See, almost I can tell after in income tax itself, if you are earning, assume you are higher income people who is having a income more than 5 crore. Assume I am a Mukesh Ambani. Okay, imagination. That's all. Okay. If I am earning 100 rupees, almost like 45 to 50 rupees I have to pay to the government in the form of tax only. Almost 45 to 50. If I am earning 100 rupees, I have to pay 45 to 50 rupees almost to the government in the form of income tax. Whereas coming to my business, if I am doing business, wherever I sell something or supply something, then I have to pay GST also. Okay, there are many taxes. So ultimately, the business people are more affected from all this, who are having higher income. Yeah. Jyotika, so they have to pay both the taxes, sir. Which both? Yeah, if you are talking about income tax and GST, yes. Or if you are talking about income tax and surcharge is applicable only in specific cases. Okay, surcharge only when your income is crossing some limits. Okay, GST, when should you pay, how much we should pay, everything we will understand in indirect taxes classes. Agree? Yeah. Chalo guys, hope you have understood. Okay, so any individual or any slab rate assessees, if their income is less than 50 lakh, don't even think about surcharge. Don't even think about surcharge. Okay, understood? And these are not slab rates, guys. Please be careful. For example, assume I'm having a total income of 10 crore. In that case, how to apply surcharge on 10 crore? Assume full 10 crore is normal income. On 10 crore, so I will just give the example here so that you will get a clarity. Assume my total income is 10 crore, which is completely normal income, no special income, nothing. So your tax liability, assume it is coming to 2 crore. Okay. On this, what will be the surcharge rate, guys? It is straight away 37%. So straight away 37% I have to apply. Don't apply slab rate here. That is only for income tax, not for surcharge. Straight away on 2 crore tax liability, not on income. We have to apply 37% tax rate. Yeah. Sai Sharan has a doubt. Sir, if I earn 50 lakh, then I have to pay only surcharge 10%. No, sir. Nah, income tax also you have to pay, sir. On income tax only we will calculate surcharge, Income tax plus surcharge plus health and education cess. That is what we saw in the format. it is not only surcharge, it is income tax plus surcharge plus health and education cess also, plus GST also. Next, other assessee. Sir, who is other assessee? Like companies, cooperative society, local authority, other than slab rate assessee we can tell. Okay, yeah. Other assessees. First we will see firms, cooperative society and local authority. For them, if the income crosses 1 crore, if the income crosses 1 crore, if the total income crosses 1 crore, then straight away always, irrespective of after 1 crore how much, we are not bothered, it is 12%. Surcharge is 12% for these 3 people. Clear? Sir, should I remember all this? Yes, absolutely you have to remember, mandatorily. Next, coming to company, we know that there are 2 categories of company, foreign company, domestic company. First, foreign company, if your income is more, total income is more than 1 crore and it is up to 10 crore. In that case, the surcharge rate is 2%. If your income is more than 10 crore, then surcharge rate is 5%. Clear? Then coming to domestic company, if your income is more than 1 crore but up to 10 crore, then 7%. If it is more than 10 crore, 12%. Clear guys? Here it is easy to remember for you. I will give one shortcut. First, always take foreign company. Sir, I will have a logic also for this. Foreign company, it is 2%, 5%. Sir, why is that so? Because income tax itself is more for them. That is 40%. That is why we are keeping, okay, surcharge 2.5, fine for us. Okay. Whereas domestic company tax rates, we are keeping low as possible. That is normally 30%. But if some conditions are satisfied, if I am opting for some new scheme and all, 15%, 22%, all those things are there. Agree? So that is why we are keeping little high surcharge. That is 7%, 12%. If you are earning well, pay is also well. It is like that. Okay. So I will have a shortcut to remember this. See, you can observe 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. Okay. This is just a shortcut to remember the surcharge for companies. Okay, just try to remember foreign company, from that only you can get domestic company. And one more logic you should always have, for foreign company surcharge will always be less because for them already income tax rates are more, whereas for domestic company the income tax rates are lower when compared to domestic company, foreign company. So that is why surcharge rates are kept at higher rate. Clear guys? Then sir, that some special schemes are there for this domestic companies and all, no? So we'll see that rate of surcharge in case of a company opting for taxability under section BAA or section BAB shall be 10% irrespective of amount of total income. Irrespective, this is important. Okay, so if you are opting for that new scheme which we saw in the morning, 15%, 22%, that things are there now. So if you are opting for that scheme, irrespective of your income, whether your income is 1 rupee, 1 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore, 100 crore, we are not bothered. Surcharge is always 10%, fixed. It is fixed amount. I can tell it is fixed. It is not dependent on your income. Whereas in all other cases, it is dependent on your income. Hope you guys are clear. Guys, I feel, did I cover cooperative society tax rates in the morning? Cooperative society, up to 10,000 income if you have 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, above 20,000 30%, above 30%, 20,000 30%. Again, this is also slab rate only for cooperative society. It is called slab rate. Whereas while calculating surcharge, they are taken down. Please be careful with that. They will come separately. That is in 12% category. Okay. So if you are having income up to 10,000, 10%, no basic exemption limit for them. Okay. Next, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, above 20,000 30%. Shashikant, can you please give an example for cooperative society, sir? Amul, you know na? Amul, some dairy company, dairy related, that is a cooperative society. Or else if you want me to give some more example, you can see some people, some farmers would have come together. Okay, and they would have formed some cooperative societies just to sell their agriculture produce or to market their agriculture produce like milk or crops, whatever they grow. Okay, and there are something called as cooperative banks also, here and there you can see. Okay, but never take a risk to invest in those banks and all. because it's bit risky. They may pay you higher return, but it's very risky. Neeraj sir, what's MAT, minimum alternate tax? That's what I told you. That is some special provisions. Minimum alternate tax is applicable for the companies, whereas alternate minimum tax is applicable for other than companies, for other people other than companies, which we will see in chapter 13 and 14 guys separately. It is special provisions, some special provisions. Agree, we won't be learning that in this chapter. yeah. Next, for cooperative society also some new scheme is there, which we will see at the end of this chapter. Health and education cess. Okay, health and education cess is always 4% guys, fixed. Sir, for whom? For everyone it is fixed. Okay, if you are paying tax only, it is fixed. Sir, assume my total income is 2 lakh. I am an individual, my total income is 2 lakh. Sir, what is my tax liability? 0. Health and education cess, is it applicable? No. If your tax payable is 0, then you know health and education cess. Agree? Or else, next assume my income is 5 lakh, or else 6 lakh you take. My income is 6 lakh. Assume after applying slab rates, my income tax liability came to 15,000. I am not eligible for rebate. So you have to apply on that 15,000 tax liability 4% health and education cess. 4% health and education cess. Sir, why they are collecting this health and education cess is for some specific purpose. This will directly go for some specific purpose, that is health cess is there, which is for health purpose, that is the government is running some government hospitals and all. So for running that purpose, they are collecting 1% health cess, and balance 3% is education cess. Balance 3% is education cess, which is for the providing free education for in government schools. Agree? So totally both put together it comes to 4%. Agree? Yeah. Sai Sharan has a doubt. If profit earned by a company is withdrawn by the owner, then is it considered as income? For owner it will be called dividend, sir. For owner it will be called dividend. Okay. So it is actually paid in the form of, when it comes to the company, if owner is taking anything, it will be in the form of dividend for him. Shareholder we call them as. Agree? We don't call them as owner, we call them as shareholder. So whatever shareholder will be getting, it is called dividend. Dividend is also taxable in income tax under the head income from other sources. It is considered as income. Yes sir, should he pay tax for that? Yes sir, he have to pay. He has to pay. Okay, you would have seen section 224 defines income. There dividend was covered. If you want, you can just cross check once. Second chapter, the definition of income under section 2 clause 24 includes dividend. Yeah. Chalo guys. The amount of income tax as computed including surcharge thereon shall be increased by. So income tax plus if surcharge is applicable, you have to add both. On that you have to apply health and education cess. Clear? So I will just read these 3 points. Education cess on income tax by 2% for the purpose, I will read it once again. The amount of income tax as computed including surcharge thereon shall be increased by 3 things. Which are those? Education cess on income tax by 2% for the purpose of fulfilling the commitment of the central government to provide and finance universalized basic education, that is in the government schools. As in the first class itself I have told you, they give all free education, free dress, free uniform, then free nowadays shoes, that this every stationery, everything they will give. So for that purpose they are collecting some, that is for specific purpose. Okay. Next, secondary and higher education cess shall also be charged at 1%. So totally education cess how much? 3%. Then last C point, health cess at 1% to fulfill the commitment of government to provide and finance quality health services, that is in government hospitals. Now this COVID, due to COVID, many hospitals, government hospitals and all, they are giving free treatment. In private hospitals also government is reimbursing them. In that case this money might be used for that purpose. Okay, not it is, there is no restriction that only this amount should be used for that purpose. Obviously they can use other amount also, whatever income tax surcharge they are collecting, they will use this amount also when is required. Okay, but this 1% whatever they are collecting should be mandatorily used for health purpose, not for anything else. Agree? Yeah. Combinedly, health and education cess on income tax is levied at 4%. If surcharge is applicable, income tax plus surcharge on that 4%. Clear guys? So when we are doing the problems and all, we will straight away apply health and education cess 4%. But if in the exam, if they ask any MCQ question like this, for example, health cess is charged at dash percentage, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. So the answer will be 1%. Clear? Then education cess, if they ask, okay, so education cess, you write 2% itself, because education cess will be 2%, whereas secondary and higher education cess will be 1%. Clear? So if they ask in the question, for example, MCQ theory question I am telling, secondary and higher education cess is dash 1%, 3%, 2%, something else, then answer will be 1%. Answer will be 1%. Clear? Next, Sushant, how people commit income tax fraud, sir? By not paying tax. That is the fraud. We call it as tax evasion. Okay, if you are not paying tax, even though you are having income, it is called fraud only. Okay, yeah. Bala Sridhar, health and education cess is applied on tax liability after surcharge, sir. Yes, that is what I explained you in the format. Agree? Yeah. We will do problems now. Yeah, this format once again I will explain now. So that still if someone is having doubt, so that they will get clarified. Please pay attention, guys. You have to stick to this format. No option for this. Yeah. First, divide your total income into two parts. That is special income and normal income. If special income is there only, we will do this. If there is no special income, then straight away normal income. Agree? So for special income, apply special rates and calculate tax. Okay, that is for our first step. Fine. Second step, calculate tax on balance income, or else I can call it as normal income. Okay, at whatever rate is applicable for you, whether slab rate or flat rate, depending upon who you are. Okay, that is my second step. Add both, you will get something called as gross tax liability. Agree? Then if you are a resident individual and if you are having a total income less than 5 lakh, you will get something called as rebate. Agree? Which we did problem number 1. Then tax liability after rebate we will get. Fine, sir. Then surcharge if applicable on gross tax liability. Why? Because see, rebate and surcharge cannot come simultaneously in the same case. I hope you have understood the logic, because surcharge is applicable only if your income is crossing 50 lakh, 1 crore, something like that. Whereas rebate is applicable only if you are having income up to 5 lakh. So both cannot come in the same case for the same assessee. Hope you guys are clear with this. So surcharge we have to calculate next. On what figure? On gross tax liability. Where is my gross tax liability, guys? It is here. On this apply tax rate, that is surcharge rate. Agree? Next, tax liability after surcharge you got. Okay. Which is that figure? This figure. Tax liability after surcharge. Fine, sir. Then health and education cess on above, that is on this figure 4%. Agree? If surcharge is there, then we will skip this step. There is no surcharge, means we will skip this step. So on what should I apply health and education cess? On this figure, on gross tax liability. Hope you are understanding. If surcharge is not there, then this step, this add step will not come. Agree? In that case, health and education cess should be calculated on gross tax liability. Hope you guys are clear. Then you will get tax liability. From that, this is what you have to pay to the government on your income. This is the final figure. But already some TDS would have been deducted. Agree? Yesterday I gave an example. I had earned interest income of 1 lakh on which TDS is deducted 10%. So same way, whatever income I earn, if TDS is applicable, the payer would have deducted the TDS. So whatever TDS is deducted from my income, I can reduce it here. Okay. Then if I have paid any advance tax well in advance, okay, I can reduce that. Sir, what is advance tax and all? We will understand. We have a separate chapter for that. Self-assessment tax means I myself have calculated some tax and I have paid it. Okay, if there is any amount like that, reduce it from your tax liability. Then last is D, double taxation relief. In the morning I told you. See, if I take an example of ordinary resident, global income is taxable in India. Okay, but assume I have earned some income outside India, received there, but pay tax also there. That is in USA. Imagine in USA. Sir, in India also you have to pay tax. Yes, calculate tax. Consider in your total income, calculate tax. But we give some double taxation relief for you. Okay, depending upon the agreement which the government has, our government has with USA government. Agree? Sir, how will I calculate this? How much is that? Is not covered in our syllabus. You will be learning that in your professional course. Agree? After all this, you will get how much tax you have to pay to the government. You have to pay to this government. Agree? If by chance, if this figure is negative, there are chances. If by chance, if your figure is negative, you will get a refund from income tax department. Sir, when will I have negative? For example, if I give, assume your tax liability is coming to 10,000. 10,000. Guys, please pay attention. I am trying to cover all the cases, all the possible cases. Only if you are attentive, you will understand. Later, you will ask the same doubt again. Later, whatever I have explained, if you are not concentrating. Okay. Now assume, already on my income, TDS is deducted at 12,000. On my income, already they have deducted, whoever was paying income for me, they have deducted TDS 12,000. In that case, already I have paid 2,000 extra tax. So in that case, what will be this figure? 2,000 negative. So I will get a refund of that. See guys, please be attentive here. This figure can be either positive or negative. But this figure will always be positive. This figure can never be negative. Tax liability can never be negative. Agree? It will always be positive or zero. That's all. Maximum is zero. Whereas final tax payable, if it is possible, I have to pay to the government now. If it is negative, government will refund me. I have already paid more tax, they will refund me. Clear? This format we will again see in total income and tax liability chapter, guys. But by this chapter only, by the time I finish this chapter only, you should know this format. Okay? Chalo. Thomas. Sir, in our last problem, is paying cess necessary on gross tax? No. Because final tax was zero. Agree? So, if rebate is applicable, that is also important. If rebate is applicable, after rebate you calculate your health and education cess. I had given one point there, if you guys remember. In health, rebate, where is that rebate? Yeah, you can see this point, sir. Where is that? Yeah, D, point D, sir. Point D. Rebate shall be computed before health and education cess. That means after rebate, after claiming rebate also, if you have anything left, you have to pay health and education cess on that. But normally it will not be there. Okay. Yeah. Before I go to the problem, two small topics are there, which is section 288A and 288B we will discuss. See guys, what section 288A will tell is, your total income should always be rounded off for 10 rupees, nearest to 10 rupees. Because if you are having your total income in decimal paisa, that this and all, we have to round it off for your nearest to 10 rupees. For example, assume you have income of 555. I am just giving some random example, 555. So in that case, what will I do is, I will round it off for 560. 5 or more, next 10, less than 5, previous 10. Okay. Next case, assume I have an income of 222, or else 10 lakh 20,000, 222, you imagine. In that case, I have to round it off for 220. I have to round it off to 220. Hope you guys are clear. Agree? So 5 or more means next 10. Less than 5 means previous 10. This is 288A. 288B will tell same thing, but for tax liability. You have to round off your tax liability for nearest 10 rupees. Sir, which tax liability? Please be careful. For this one, that is 288B, you have to apply here. You can make a note of whatever I am writing it here in your notebook, study material also. This figure you have to round off. Don't sit and round off each and every figure. Only the final figure, the tax liability, whatever you will get, that figure should be rounded off to the nearest 10 rupees tax liability. Agree? And even while calculating income, total income should be rounded off to nearest to 10 rupees, not individual incomes. The final figure on which you will pay tax is called total income. That figure has to be rounded off. This figure has to be rounded off. And one more point I missed here is add interest under section 234A, B, C while calculating tax liability. See, these are like 234A is if you are not filing your return on time, you have to pay some interest which you have to add for your tax liability. Then B and C, which we will see in advanced tax liability chapter. If you are liable to pay advance tax and if you are not paid on time, then some interest will be charged for you. Some interest will be charged for you which you have to add for your tax liability because you have to pay it to the government. Interest we will not call it as tax liability, but you have to add it for your tax liability to pay it to the government. Clear, guys? Hope you guys are clear. So I will just quickly read this whatever is given in section 288A and 288B. The amount of total income. Okay, which amount? Total income amount computed in accordance with the provisions of the act shall be rounded off to the nearest 10 rupees. Okay. For this purpose, paisa shall be ignored and 5 and above shall be rounded off to the next multiple of 10. Fine, sir. Same thing for tax liability. Next, rounding off of tax payable and refund due. Section 288B. Any amount of tax payable or refund due under the provisions of income tax shall be rounded off to the nearest multiple of 10 rupees. One second. Some small correction is there which I will make. So what is that? Tax payable or refund due. Actually I told this figure has to be rounded off. Actually it's not. It is this figure, sorry. 288B. The final figure which I pay to the government. Which I have to pay to the government or else they will refund for us. Agree? For this part I have to apply 288B. Clear? Yeah. The small correction, you guys, if you have already written in your study material, please do the correction. Yeah. Any amount of tax payable or refund due, that is the final figure after everything, has to be rounded off to the nearest 10 rupees. Agree, guys? So you have to remember the section also if possible. Okay. See, guys, sections try to remember from executive only because your goal is not only to clear executive but to get qualified. If you want to get qualified, you have to pass your professionals also. So if you want to pass professional or you want to get qualified, please start preparing from now only. Bala Sridhar. So in simple terms, interest is basically charged when there is a late payment of tax. So yeah, interest is charged when there is a late payment of tax and also while you are late filing your income tax return. You have paid tax but you are filing your return later. So in both cases interest will be charged. Pranita Raghuram, what is section 235A, sir? It is with respect to interest which we will see in assessment procedure chapter, madam. When it will be charged and how much, everything we will see. All 234A, B, C, all three is with respect to interest. Clear, guys? So in the question, if they are not given anything with respect to this less items, assume they are not given anything with respect to this less items. In that case, don't take it. That's all. Straight away, your whatever net tax liability is there, that is what you will pay to the government. Agree? Yeah. This is the maximum thing which you can get in tax liability. Agree? In tax calculation. But I have already told you guys, everything might not come in the same problem. Agree? Everything might not come in the same problem. But if it comes out to solve, I have given step by step, which is very easy. After the class also, sit, concentrate and look for each step. Okay, and register in your mind. You have to register it in your mind. Chalo. So we will do some problems, guys. Too much of theory or tax provisions. Come to question number 3. 2 we will do later. Come to question number 3. Question number 3. Yeah, let me read the question. Mr. C, a 69-year-old individual, resident Indian, that is also important, has disclosed a sum of rupees 10,30,000. Okay, as taxable income. Taxable income is nothing but total income, guys. Taxable income is nothing but total income from share trading business. Okay, he has done some business and he has got income. Fine. He wants you to compute his tax liability for the assessment year 21-22. We have some sub questions which we will see later. So till here first we will solve. So Mr. C is an individual, senior citizen, 69 and is a resident. So what is the basic exemption limit applicable for him, guys? How much? Attentive. 69 years, resident. What is the basic exemption limit applicable for him? Others, Jyotika, 30 na. 3 lakh. Yeah, agree. Be careful with that point. Okay, I will calculate the tax liability. First listen, guys. You can take it later. First listen. What I am doing, you have to understand first. Then you can take down. I will give time to take down. Agree? You have to take down the solution in your notebook, guys. Yeah. So computation of tax liability of Mr. C, who is 69 years. 69 is the keyword here for assessment year 2021. Okay. Up to 3 lakh, it is basic exemption limit. So amount is nil or 0, I can write. Okay. From 3 lakh to 5 lakh, what is the tax rate? 5%. What will be the amount? 5 lakh minus 3 lakh into 5%, which comes to 10,000. Okay, sir. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh, what is the tax rate? 20%. What is the amount? 10 lakh minus 5 lakh into 20%, which comes to 1 lakh. Then more than 10 lakh, how much is his income? 10 lakh 30,000. What is the tax rate? 30%. So 10.3 lakh minus 10 lakh into 30%. So 30,000 into 30% will be 9,000. So it is 1,19,000. Sir, is Mr. C eligible for rebate? No, because income is more than 5 lakh. Even though he is a resident, income is more than 5 lakh. Agree? Then health and education cess at 4%. On what figure, sir? Please be careful. On what figure I am calculating? 1,19,000 into 4%. How much? Figure 4760. 4760. So it comes to 1,23,760. No need to round off because it is already round off figure. 760. Guys, take down. 1,14,000 na. Why 14? Did you reduce it? Why will you reduce? Health and education says you have to add, madam. It is not rebate. It is not rebate. Nah, rebate you have to reduce. Health and education says it's we have to pay it to the government. When you have to pay it to the government, don't reduce it. We have to add it. Please observe how I have calculated the tax figures. As we do the problems, you people should get used to this straight away. See, now I am doing all the working and all. By the time I finish this chapter, you people should be able to calculate directly. Okay? Because your MCQ questions, you need not prove anything. If it was descriptive, then if I am getting the answer 1,23,760, then I have to prove it. How did I get? But if you just get the answer for MCQ questions, it's more than enough. So ultimately, options will be there for 1,23,760, which I have to choose. Agree? Take down, guys. Take down the working also. See, as we are in the initial stage, we are also doing all the working, so that you people should understand how we will apply it. If I do it directly here, I will understand, but it's difficult for you guys. Okay, so all the possible things we are covering it here. Sir, what is self-assessment tax? See, if I myself calculate the tax and pay, it is called self-assessment tax. What it is, we will see when we go to assessment procedure. Shivraj. Okay, sir. We will cover the topic in assessment procedure chapter. Guys, done? Hope you are done. We'll go ahead. So we have two more sub questions here. For the same question, I have added two more sub questions. Don't worry, in your exam it may not be asked like this. Any one will be asked. Okay, but I have tried to cover all three cases in the same question. Okay, in your exam only one case will be asked for MCQ. Would your answer be different if assessee is a non-resident? Everything remains same, but assessee is a non-resident, it seems. In that case, even though he is 69 years old, what will be the basic exemption limit, guys? If the Mr. C is a non-resident, 69 years age, what will be the basic exemption limit? Pranita is telling 3 lakh. It is 2,50,000, madam. Because the higher basic exemption limit is applicable only for resident senior citizens or super senior citizens. Okay. So for first A option, it is 2.5 only. Please be careful. It is 2.5. So it will be basic exemption limit. So the amount would be nil. The amount would be nil. Okay. Then from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, it is 5%. Okay. So if I want to calculate, it is 5 lakh minus 2.5 lakh into 5%. The amount comes to 12,500. 12,500. Then more than 5 lakh, the rates is 20%. So 10 lakh minus 5 lakh into 20%, it comes to 1 lakh. Okay. Then more than 10 lakh, 30%, which is 10.3 lakh minus 10 lakh into 30%, which comes to 9,000. So your tax liability would be 1 lakh. How much is this figure? 21,500. On that, there is no rebate in this case. So we have to calculate health and education cess 1,21,500 into 4%. What is the figure, guys? 4860. Good. I want all of you to give the answers, guys. Totaling, calculation, everything you need to take care. 4860. What is the amount? 126,360. Okay. 126,360. 126,360. 126,360. Take down, guys. Priya Har. Sir, why should we subtract between the tax slab? Yeah, madam, if you are charging on an entire amount, it will be like you are paying tax again and again on the same income. For example, okay, others can take down. For example, imagine here on this case, I am applying 10 lakh into 20%. Imagine, out of this 10 lakh, for up to 5 lakh, I already paid tax here now in the second step. Agree? Then what is the benefit of giving basic exemption limit? Why did they give? If they are asking me to pay tax on 10 lakh full 20%, why did they give basic exemption limit then? Agree? Then for income up to from 2.5 to 5 lakh, why did they give 5% tax rate? Agree? And that is why we call it as slab rates. It is not flat rate. Whereas surcharge is like that. Clear? Priya Har? Yeah. Then Sulochana. Sir, for non-resident tax rate, where it is in material? Sulochana. Good doubt you asked. 1 second. I will come to that. Let people take this. Madam, you can see first slab itself, resident or non-resident, both are covered there. 2,50,000 thing is there now. There it is covered. You can just check there. Monica is telling, but they haven't mentioned for senior citizen. I will explain. Let them finish. I hope everyone are finished. Okay. I will answer your doubts. I always suggest you people to be attentive. That's the thing. See here. I am just zooming it. What is given in first this? Any individual, resident or non-resident. Resident or non-resident. Then every HUF, AOP, BOI, artificial justifiable person is covered. Agree? For them, what is the basic exemption limit? Always 2,50,000. Agree? Non-resident, where it is covered? In this first case. Whereas, if you are a resident individual, 60 or more, then second case. If you are a resident individual, 80 or more, then third case. Super senior citizen. I don't know why you were confused with respect to this. Here I have already given in the morning also, you can observe still that point is there. I have written only for resident individual here. RI, resident individual. Agree? Sir, what if a individual is non-resident? For him, he will come in this first first case. Agree? So when we are reading the law or provisions, guys, each and everything, even or and will make difference. Okay, please be careful. When you are reading, please read as it is. Don't go in a hurry. We have still 4-5 months left for our exams. Aram says sit and study each and everything in detail. For example, if I can tell what is the difference between or and, I can take an example of section 6.1 and 6.6. In 6.1, there is two conditions where in between two conditions they have used the word or. You can observe that. In between the two conditions they have used the word or. That means you can satisfy any one condition anta. Whereas when it comes to section 6.6, there are again two conditions, but in between two conditions they have used the word and. They have used the word and. And means you have to satisfy both. Cumulative. And means both you have to satisfy. Or means that or this anta. Where were we? Yeah. Third problem. Next, last case. Last case. The assessee is resident aged 85 years. Okay. Now they are changing the age. Assessee is resident it seems, but age is 85 years. Super senior citizen. Last case. Super senior citizen. Fine. Chalo. So now in this case, what is the basic essential limit, guys? 5 lakh. It is 5 lakh. Agree? So most of you are giving the answer correct. So in this case, up to 5 lakh, as is a resident only, I am applying 5 lakh. Assume the assessee is age 85 years but non-resident. In that case, it will be 2 lakh 50 only. Agree? So up to 5 lakh. See guys, in this problem, I will skip one step. So we will go one step ahead. Okay, now you have understood how to work it out. Agree? So we have to go one step ahead now. So up to 5 lakh, tax rate is basic exemption limit. So amount will be nil. Okay, so then more than 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 20%. So I will directly apply 5 lakh into 20% straight away. Okay, sir. Hope you will understand how did I get that 5 lakh. In the previous problems I have shown the working. Then more than 10 lakh, it is 30%. So more than 10 lakh, how much you have? Only 30,000. 30,000 into 30%, which comes to 9,000. Which comes to 9,000. So your tax liability before health and education cess is 1,09,000, which I can call it as gross tax liability. I can tell this 1,09,000 as gross tax liability. So health and education says, sir, am I eligible for rebate? No, you are not eligible. Even though you are resident, your total income is more than 5 lakh. 4%. How much, guys? 4360. 4360. So 1,13,360. This is my final figure. I have to pay to the government. Which I have to pay to the government. And here and all, we are not reducing anything because information is not given in the question. Agree? How you get 30,000, sir? In the previous two cases I told, no sir, my total income is 10 lakh 30,000. So more than 10 lakh, how much is there? 30,000. So 30,000 into 30%. 30,000 into 30%. If you had understood these two cases, then this is I have done directly. The figures I have taken directly. How did I get 5 lakh? 10 lakh minus 5 lakh. How did I get 30,000? 10 lakh 30,000 minus 10 lakh. Yeah, shall we go move ahead? Yeah, we will see some more topics. Now, guys, whichever we have seen till now, whatever we have covered till now is something called as old scheme. This was normally there in our act. That is what I was teaching for the previous batch students. But as I told you, by the Finance Act 2020, they added something called as new scheme and all. So, which is covered in your syllabus as per ICSI material also. So, we have to study that also. So, till now whatever we have covered is like we call it as old scheme. Okay. Now, whatever we will study from now, we will call it as new scheme. And new scheme is not applicable for everyone. It is applicable for some specified people only. So for whom it is applicable? What is that scheme? what is the tax rate under that scheme. The tax rates are different under that schemes. Okay, everything we will see, but we will take a break now. We will take a break now for 10 minutes and we will continue.